Hello there, I'm your friend Teacher Sam, here to guide you on a journey to improve your English buying and selling vocabulary. You may be just starting out, or you may be looking to expand your existing knowledge. Either way, mastering this vocabulary can open up a world of opportunities, from everyday shopping to high-stakes business transactions. It's not just about words, it's about communication, understanding, and confidence in the marketplace. So, are you ready to dive into the world of commerce? Let's get started. We will start with some basic terms that you'll often encounter when buying or selling. First up, we have purchase. This is a formal word for buying something. When you go to a store and buy a pair of shoes, you are making a purchase. Next is sell. This is the opposite of purchase. When you sell something, you are giving it to someone else in exchange for money. So if you have an old bike that you no longer need, you might decide to sell it. Now let's talk about buyer and seller. These are the people involved in a transaction. The buyer is the person who is making the purchase, while the seller is the one who is selling the item. Moving on, we have price. This is the amount of money that the buyer pays to the seller in exchange for the item. The price of an item can vary widely depending on various factors, such as its quality, brand, and the demand for it. Another term you'll often encounter is discount. A discount is a reduction in the original price of an item. For instance, if a store is having a sale, they might offer a 20% discount on all their items. This means that you can buy the items for 20% less than their original price. Lastly, we have transaction. This is a formal word that refers to the process of buying or selling something. A transaction involves a buyer, a seller, and an exchange of money for goods or services. Each of these terms is a key component of the buying and selling process. Understanding them will not only enhance your English vocabulary, but also make you more confident and effective in your buying and selling interactions. Now you're familiar with these basic terms, it's time to move on to some more specific vocabulary. Now that we have the basics covered, let's dive into some more specific terms you'll come across. First up, we have invoice. This is a document that itemizes and records a transaction between a buyer and a seller. If you're selling goods or services, you'll issue an invoice to your buyer. If you're the buyer, you'll receive an invoice from the seller. Next, we have receipt. A receipt is a proof of purchase. It's usually given by the seller to the buyer after a transaction has been completed and paid for. This is the document you'll want to keep safe if you ever need to return or exchange an item. Speaking of exchanges, that brings us to our next term, exchange. An exchange is when you return a purchased good and receive another in its place. Perhaps the size was wrong or the item was defective. In these cases, you may opt for an exchange. Now let's talk about refund. A refund is when you return a purchased good and receive your money back instead of another item. Different shops have different refund policies, so it's always a good idea to ask about this before making a purchase. Up next is warranty. A warranty is a promise by a manufacturer or seller to repair or replace defective goods during a certain period of time. If your new phone stops working after a month, you'll be glad you have a warranty. Lastly, we have bargain. A bargain is something bought or sold for a price that is lower than the actual value. If you've ever been to a flea market or yard sale, you've probably come across some great bargains. With these terms in your vocabulary arsenal, you'll be better equipped to navigate buying and selling situations with confidence. Remember, practice makes perfect. Try using these words in your everyday conversations and see how they enhance your communication skills. Great job! Now you're equipped with a wider range of vocabulary to use during buying and selling transactions. It's time to put these words into actions through a role-play scenario. Imagine you're at a bustling market surrounded by a variety of stalls. You're on a mission to buy a unique handmade necklace. Let's dive into the conversation. Hello, I'm interested in this necklace. It's quite unique. Could you tell me more about it? The seller responds, certainly, this is a one-of-a-kind piece, handcrafted with semi-precious stones. You're intrigued, but you want to negotiate the price. That sounds wonderful, but it's a little out of my budget. Would you consider a discount? The seller ponders your proposal. Well, you seem to appreciate the craftsmanship. I could offer a 10% discount. You're pleased with the negotiation and decide to purchase the necklace. Thank you for your flexibility, I'll take it. This simple exchange is packed with buying and selling vocabulary. You've expressed interest, asked for additional information, negotiated a discount, and confirmed your purchase. The seller has provided product details, considered your proposal, and agreed to a price reduction. Remember, the key to mastering any new vocabulary is consistent practice. Try incorporating these words into your daily conversations. You could role-play similar buying and selling scenarios with a friend or family member. See how these words come alive when you use them in real-life situations. Practice makes perfect. Well done. You've learned a lot today. Let's take a moment to review all the key buying and selling vocabulary words we covered in this lesson. We started with basic terms like purchase, sell, price, and discount. Then we moved on to more complex phrases such as negotiate a deal, compare prices, place an order, and request a refund. We also dived into the world of online shopping, learning words like shopping cart, checkout, shipping, and return policy. In our role-play scenario, we saw these terms in action, helping to solidify your understanding of how they're used in real-life situations. It may seem overwhelming at first, but remember, practice makes perfect. The more you use these terms in your daily life, the more natural they will become. Remember, improving your English buying and selling vocabulary will not only enhance your language skills, but also boost your confidence in commercial settings. Keep practicing and see you in the next lesson.